What's up, guys? It is Frankie here. It is week 3 of the 2021 NFL season. It is time to make some predictions. Let's get right to it. The Thursday night game, the Carolina Panthers take on the Houston Texans. The Panthers are 7.5-point favorites. This is continuing the long tradition of Thursday night games I do not really care about. It's just, come on, NFL. Can you really get us something more exciting than this? And I will say this, the Panthers have been, I think, much better than a lot of us thought they would be. Sam Darnold has looked like, I don't want to say an elite quarterback or anything like that, but he has definitely taken those steps that a lot of experts were saying that once he leaves the Jets, he's going to really show what he can do. And so far, he's done that here in his first 2 games. I mean, 200 yards passing for the second straight week in the first half yesterday. And yeah, the Jets are bad, and the Saints, had a lot of injuries and COVID stuff. But he did what he needed to do there. Credit there, getting Christian McCaffrey involved in the game. And the defense has been playing well. So Carolina here looking very, very good here in these first 2 weeks. Houston, they are, after week 1, it's like, okay, maybe they won't be a disaster. And then yesterday, they did tie Cleveland. They tied them 14-14 heading into the half. But then Tyrod Taylor got hurt. David Mills was blah. We don't know right now what the status is for Taylor here in this upcoming game. So I have a lot of concerns about Houston. I've already had a lot of concerns about Houston, but now they're on their third string quarterbacks, it looks like, with David Mills. I think in this game, Carolina really, it's crazy to think that Carolina might be 3-0, and people might be starting to believe, hey, maybe this is Carolina's year. I still don't know if I'm ready to go that far. Maybe, because they may just have an easy schedule to start. But I think in this game, they're very lucky that they're taking on a depleted Houston Texans team. I think Carolina wins this game pretty easily. I think Sam, once again, delivers. I think they pick apart their defense. McCaffrey has a nice, solid game. And I think Houston just continues its struggle. Whether they have Tyrod Taylor or Mills on there, I just don't think that they have enough talent right now to compete. So I think in this game, and even though, again, they hung in there with Cleveland, eventually throughout the second half we saw what Cleveland can do, and again, losing the quarterback there. So I think in this game, I think Carolina takes care of them. I think they win this one easily. Give me the Panthers -7.5. The Washington 2B determines, and the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are 9.5-point favorites. Washington is coming off an incredible win on Thursday night, where big time comeback there against the Giants, fighting hard, getting that field goal there late. And Taylor Heinicke, no, I don't want to say again. I don't want to sit there and say he's the franchise quarterback, that he's the guy of the future. But in every game so far I've seen him, he's been impressive. He's got that it factor. He's been able to make the fans love him. The players really enjoy him. He's got some swagger to him. He's been fun to watch. The Bills here, it's been weird because the Bills, are a very good team. Their defense was elite against Miami. They got Tua Tagovailoa hurt with a rib injury. They had, against Miami yesterday, they had 6 sacks. They had 9 tackles. They had 11 QB hits, 3 takeaways. The one concern right now that I have about Buffalo, weirdly, is the guy who I thought was going to make the biggest move this year, and that was Josh Allen. Allen has not done a great job throwing the ball downfield. In the first half yesterday, when passes thrown more than 10 yards downfield, he completed 1 for 5 for 35 yards and an interception. He's not connected well with Emmanuel Sanders. The offense right now is not where it should be. Even though, they beat down Miami yesterday, I still don't feel like Josh Allen is where he needs to be at this moment. It was really yesterday the running game that really did it for Buffalo. They had 143 yards on 30 carries. But Washington's defense is also something that has not been what we hoped it would be. We thought the Washington defense was going to be so stout, so dominant, and they really haven't been so far. They really let the Giants score 29 points against them there in week 2. So I think that might happen here. 9.5 is a big number, but I think we're going to see Josh Allen eventually. They're going to be back home. I think we're going to see the reemergence here of Josh Allen. At least here, I mean, he can't all of a sudden have forgotten how to play football or forgotten how to throw the deep ball. I think he'll come back around here in this game. I think Buffalo takes a big step up. Nothing against Washington, nothing against Taylor Heinicke, who again I've enjoyed watching, I've been a fan of. But I do think in this game, I think Buffalo, they're just too dominant here. I think the defense is really going to step up, and I just think eventually we're going to see that return for Josh Allen, Diggs, and all those guys. So in this game, I have Buffalo winning it at home, 9.5. It's a big spread, but I'll take it. Give me the Bills, -9.5. The Chicago Bears take on the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are 7.5-point favorites. Interesting story going on right now with the Bears as Andy Dalton out yesterday with a knee injury. Justin Fields took over. He was fine, 6 for 13, 60 yards. He had 7 rushing attempts for 35 yards. I don't know who's going to be the quarterback on Sunday. I would like to see it be Fields because I don't think Andy Dalton's the future. I want to see what Justin Fields can do. And he brought some excitement to the game. He did a bad pick at the end of yesterday's game. But again, this is his first time out there. I can't really go too crazy over that. Cleveland, not the most exciting victory yesterday. Not a very convincing victory against Houston, against a bad team. It really took them until the second half to really get going. They've had a lot of injuries. Now they lose Jarvis Landry. He's out. I don't know for how long, but he's out now, along with Odell. There's just a lot of concerns about the defense. What do they have? 8 new starters on there, so they've had some concerns there. But I still think that Cleveland is a very, very good team. I still think that they're going to step it up here. They're going to be at home. Chicago, we don't know how Fields is going to look here in his first. If this is his first start. If it's Andy Dalton, then I definitely feel much better about Cleveland being up to 7.5. But I just look at them right now and I think the offense is going to step up here in this game, and it'd be nice if we could guarantee that OBJ is going to be out there. If we could guarantee that Jarvis Landry is going to be out there. But if not, I still think that Cleveland with Baker and the boys, they're going to step up. They're going to improve. They're going to have Chubb out there. I think they'll run the ball well against Chicago. I think they'll pass it well. Chicago, hopefully there's a future for them. I think Justin Fields maybe in the next year or two will really step up. I just don't think he'll be here in this game. Again, it's even if he's starting. If it's him or Dalton, who knows at this point. But whoever it is, I think Cleveland steps back up. I think Cleveland improves. I think Cleveland wins. I don't think it's going to be a nervous game like they had yesterday against Houston. Give me the Browns here, -7.5. The Indianapolis Colts take on the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are 5-point favorites. The Colts coming off yesterday a loss against the Rams. That they did cover the spread. I'll give them that. But they did lose Carson Wentz. I don't know for how long. Right ankle injury. Hopefully he'll be ready for Sunday. But I've not heard any words about that yet. But this is the thing with Carson Wentz, and we know this. His injury history is really spot. He's like the Derrick Rose of football right now. The guy just deals with so many injuries, and the offensive line is going to give him going to have so many hits on him. What did he get? He got sacked 3 times yesterday and hit 11 times. So you have to concern about is this guy primed for the future? Can he last an entire season here for Indianapolis? Colts also did a really bad yesterday in the red zone. I think they had 2 drives inside the Rams' 20-yard line, only to come away with no points. That first drive at the beginning of the game was pathetic. So I have concerns about Indianapolis. They're about to play 3 straight road games against teams that made the playoffs last season. There's a very good chance they could be 0-5. Tennessee coming off an incredible win against Seattle. This was Seattle's first game with the 12th man since 2019. The fans were loud, crazy, and you had a great performance from Tannehill, Julio Jones, those two 6 catches on 8 targets for 128 yards. The return of Derrick Henry, which after week 1 I was a little concerned. Maybe he's lost it. I was really hoping he wasn't. And then he put on maybe the best performance of anybody yesterday. Really, really delivered, and he was just sensational. The defense, you have concerns about. They're giving up so many big plays, whether it was the Lockett touchdown, whether it was the Freddie Swan touchdown. A lot of big plays they're giving up. But for them to go into a tough environment like Seattle and to pull out that win in overtime, that really made you feel good about where this team is. And maybe they can make a leap forward here this year. And I think that they're going to make a leap forward here in this game. We don't know we have concerns about who Indianapolis' quarterback is going to be. And I just think that Tennessee right now, much better team. If you got Derrick Henry working again, and you got Tannehill and Julio Jones, and if those two have a connection going, then I think it's going to be smooth sailing here for Tennessee, especially just with, again, if Indianapolis' offense continues to struggle like this, at least on the offensive side with the offensive line and with Wentz, if we don't know if he's going to be healthy, I think it all sets up here for Tennessee to get this win. Tennessee's home -5. Give me the Titans here. Titans -5. The Los Angeles Chargers and the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 7-point favorites. The Chargers coming off a tough loss against Dallas, and that's a game they really, really should have won. And the penalties, the turnovers, they had 12 penalties yesterday for 99 yards, 2 cost them touchdowns, 6 took away first downs, bad interception at the end of the first half by Justin Herbert, missed field goal, just so many dumb, stupid, idiotic mistakes. And I mean, Justin Herbert's been good. Here in this game, what was he? 31 for 41, 313 yards. Austin Eckler did a nice job. He caught 9 passes for 61 yards, rushing for another 54. this team really should be better than they are, but in typical Chargers fashion, they cannot close the deal. And that continues from Philip Rivers on. Kansas City, really bad loss here for Baltimore. Not that it wasn't like, they kept it in there, their offense was good. It's just their defense, man. It is such a problem with this team. It is. Thankfully, Kansas City has an offense that can score 30 or more every game to be able to compete because their defense is just so bad. Baltimore had 500 yards against Kansas City. And it is such a weakness with them. They just look so inept. Teams just march down the field against them. And the other thing about Kansas City, and even though, we know they're great, Mahomes and all that, Kelsey, and they showed yesterday what they can do. Tyrann Mathieu yesterday with 2 picks, including a pick 6. I've kept talking about how they've not covered, it seems like, any spread over the last year. I know they have. I know they've covered like 3 or 4 spreads. But it is ridiculous watching the team continue to struggle to cover spreads. They didn't do it in week 1. They didn't do it in week 2. And so, out of principle, I'm going to take the Chargers plus 7. I'm going to take the Chargers here. Even though my gut tells me, okay, Kansas City's a much better team than the Chargers, I still feel like Kansas City's going to struggle with that spread again, especially with that defense. Especially with how bad that defense is. The Chargers are going to be able to do something here. Now, if the Chargers don't make any stupid mistakes like they did yesterday, then I think they will definitely cover the spread. But until then, I'm just not confident here in Kansas City. I'm not 100% sure that they're going to be able to cover spread when they failed to do it so many times last season, when they failed to do it so many times this season. I think all of this is leading to the Chargers making it a close game, competitive game. I think Chargers-Chiefs last year, I think both games were close. I believe the first one was definitely. I don't know about the second one. But I think this is a game here where the Chargers keep it close. They keep it exciting. Kansas City wins because I can't imagine this team's going to start 1-2, especially without offensive talent. But I think the Chargers, with the Kansas City defensive problems, will cover the spread. We'll keep it close. So that's why I'm taking the Chargers. Give me the Chargers plus 7. The New Orleans Saints and the New England Patriots. The Patriots are 3-point favorites. This is a tough pick for me, and this might be one that I might regret coming up. But the Saints go from dominating Green Bay to getting pretty badly beaten down by Carolina. Now, I mean, look, New Orleans is going through a lot right now. Not being at home because of the hurricane, missing 9 starters because of injuries, 8 assistant coaches are gone because of COVID. It is not an ideal spot for New Orleans right now. They're in a little bit of a hole. But I still feel like New Orleans, we saw what they can do here in week 1. I can't believe I'm trusting Jameis Winston here. But the other option is Mac Jones. And while I am somewhat of I do like Mac Jones, I'm not confident in believing in him 100%. I think New Orleans bounces back here in the second week. And even though, yes, Jameis was bad yesterday, this is one of those, it's like good Jameis, bad Jameis. I think yesterday was a bad Jameis. I think we'll see a good Jameis performance next week. And New England has problems in the pass protection. They're not great with that. Even though they destroyed the Jets yesterday, but that is the Jets. That is Zach Wilson, who I'm now already fearing is going to be the next Jets bust at quarterback. Even though I know it's ridiculous to do that for 2 games, but I've just seen this before. I've watched this team too many times to believe that things are going to get better. And for New England here, I mean, what was that? The 4 interceptions on Zach Wilson yesterday. They did their part. They were impressive. I might even think New England wins this game by like 1 or 2 points, but. And Jones has been fine. Jones has been really, really solid. 22 for 30, 186 yards, a touchdown interception. He hasn't thrown the deep ball a lot, so that's something to be concerned about. And yeah, their pass protection really is a problem. At right tackle especially, they took out Yassi Durif, was replaced by Justin Hearn. It'll be nice having Trent Brown back, but you have concerns about New England. Both of these teams right now I'm not really confident about. Even though the coaches I'm fine with, there's a lot of problems with them in terms of offensive line and stupid mistakes and injuries. So in this game here, I'm taking New England, or I'm taking New Orleans, plus 3. I think New Orleans is going to cover the spread here. I think that they are good enough. I think they're talented enough. I think they're going to be able to bounce back. Because I can't imagine that. I know it's weird that I'm already a believer in Jameis, but after how bad we saw what they can do week 1. I think they can do that here in week 3. I think New England will have problems on the offensive line, and I think New Orleans will be able to do just enough. Jameis will make a couple big plays. They might make a turnover or 2 on defense. I think New Orleans here covers the spread. Whether they win or lose by 1 or 2, I like New Orleans in this game. Give me the Saints plus 3. The Atlanta Falcons and the New York Giants. The Giants are 3-point favorites. I really don't have that much to say about this game. These 2 teams are really, really bad. Credit to Daniel Jones for trying last week against Washington, but it was not enough. and Atlanta just blah. It's just another terrible loss to them against Tampa Bay. Somebody has to win this game. I'm going to take the Giants, even though I probably shouldn't. I don't want to take either one of these teams. Don't bet this game. Please, for the love of God. Even if you're an impulsive gambler, do not bet this game. This game is just complete disaster written all over it. But I gotta roll with the Giants. 3-point favorites. Why the heck not? Someone has to win this game. Giants are at home. Both of these teams are heading towards the worst records in the NFL. There's no light at the end of the tunnel for either one of these teams. But if you ask me to pick, I'd probably pick the Giants. 3-point favorites. Why the heck not? Give me the Giants -3. The Cincinnati Bengals take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers are 4.5-point favorites. Cincinnati coming off a rough loss to Chicago, where they had a really good shot of being 2-0, and Justin Fields is in there and just not able to live up to it. Very flat performance, just very anemic. Offense has not really shown a lot here. And they look bad. I mean, the Bears defense gave up 34 points against the Rams in week 1. And here in week 2, they just nothing. The Steelers also coming off a bad loss. I thought the Raiders were going to cover the spread. I did not think it was going to be that decisive. Back-to-back weeks where the offense as well has looked bad. Roethlisberger got hit 10 times. Tried Turner was ejected for unsportsmanlike conduct in the fourth quarter. Just very undisciplined bunch here for the Steelers. They really have not seemed to. They looked good in week 1, but week 2 they were not able to. Even in week 1 when they beat the Bills, they really looked bad for the first half. So I have concerns here. They let Derek Carr throw all over them. We know what the Steelers can do with their defense, which is why I think they're going to win this game. They definitely have a great defense, and I think that will bounce back here in week 3. And even though, again, there are some injuries there, they still have a lot of talented guys on there, so I think Pittsburgh will be able to deliver here. And I can't really trust Cincinnati too much yet. I'm just not 100% sold because I picked them last week and it did not work well for them. But I think Pittsburgh here, 4.5 points. I think the defense will step up, and I think that the offense will be able to do it. I can't imagine that with this much talent, the Steelers can continuously look bad on offense. I cannot believe it. So I think they're going to show up here this week at home. I think they'll deliver. And I think they'll win the game by 4.5 at least. Give me the Steelers -4.5. The Arizona Cardinals take on the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Cardinals are 7-point favorites. I'll just say it right now. Kyler Murray right now is my pick for MVP. I don't know if it's going to last, but he's been the best player right now in the NFL here in the 2 weeks. He is, it's 2 weeks, it's like the Heisman. Some guys are great in September, but they're not able to live up to it for 16, 17 weeks. He has been unbelievable, throwing 400 yards, 3 touchdowns yesterday, running for 31, had a rushing touchdown as well, making big plays, like the 77-yard touchdown to Rondale Moore where he spun out of the sack. He's the reason why Arizona has been where they are, because he's been able to be this dominant. Finding DeAndre Hopkins, trying to get out of sacks. He has just been incredible. Now, the offense, again, the offense is terrific, but they need their defense to really they need their defense to step up. They really need their defense to come through. So because the defense has not been ideal here in the last week. Giving up 34 to Kirk Cousins, which is not great. The defense is a struggle here. Right? Again, giving up 33. I'm sorry to Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, not ideal. But as long as you have Kyler Murray there, you have a fighting shot here at this game. And I think they'll definitely win this game because Jacksonville just looks pathetic. They looked a little better yesterday, but not much. I feel bad for Trevor Lawrence because we all saw what he could do in college. And he just has an awful team around him right now. And this is a weird thing. When you're that successful of a college quarterback and you win constantly, what's it like when you're 0-2 and there's no hope for at least that season? That's got to be just heartbreaking for him. He's getting paid a lot of money, so I shouldn't care that much. But he looks... It's just so bad, the team around him. The entire offense, he needs help everywhere. And the kicking's not even that good for Jacksonville right now. They have a lot of work here. And Arizona is looking fantastic. Back-to-back dominant wins in a row. Or not dominant, back-to-back amazing offensive performances in a row that led to wins. And I say that continues here. 7 points on the road. I'm really liking Arizona here. I don't see Jacksonville competing in this game. I see this being a blowout early. Give me the Cardinals -7. The New York Jets take on the Denver Broncos. The Broncos are 11-point favorites. Yesterday was about as bad as an offensive performance that I can remember from a Jet. I don't want to sit here and say Zach Wilson is definitely going to be a bust. But wow, I just had so many... I had PTSD watching that game. 4 interceptions in his first 10 passing attempts. it looked like Sam Darnold. It looked like the worst of Sam Darnold there. Just he was making way too many mistakes instead of doing safe things. I'm glad that he's a little bit of a gunslinger, but there are times where you got to be smart. And he was making so many dumb plays there. He's a rookie, so hopefully he'll be able to deliver. And he wasn't even under that much pressure. That was all him. He was just so bad yesterday. 11 points is a big margin, especially for a team like Denver. But the defense has been amazing so far. This is one of the best Denver defenses we've seen in a while. And if you can get Von Miller and Bradley Chubb playing together at the same time, then that is going to be just incredible for Denver's defense there. They really, yesterday was Jacksonville, so I shouldn't really read too much into it. They have had two. And also think about it, they've had two young quarterbacks here. They've had Daniel Jones in week 1. They had Trevor Lawrence in week 2, and now they get Zach Wilson here in week 3. They were just getting so many young, inexperienced quarterbacks. They really have a fantastic shot here of going 3-0. I think they're going to be just amazing here. I think Bridgewater will continue. Bridgewater's impressed me here, and the defense I think will really shut down. I fear that how bad it's going to get, because if this week was bad, I feel like it can be just as bad, if not worse, with Denver coming into town, with Denver's defense, Denver at home, altitude and all that. I think this is a really rough spot here for the Jets. I think 0-3 is on the horizon, and who knows how many more losses they're going to get here in the future here. But I think this is a dominant Broncos win. Defense will be completely dominant. Give me the Broncos minus 11. The Miami Dolphins take on the Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders are 5-point favorites. I actually almost thought about taking Miami in this game. I know that's dumb because the Raiders are 2-0 and the Raiders look fantastic. And Miami, Tua got hurt, but Miami's defense has been amazing. And they've been that way for a couple years now. But Tua got hurt, so I'm not even going to think about it. But Dolphins' offense has been a problem here. Their defense keeps them in games. They shut down the Bills for, I think, 6 consecutive scoreless drives in the first half to end the first half. And then it fell quite there in the second half yesterday. We don't know who's going to start on Monday, whether it's going to be Tua or whether it's going to be Jacoby Brissett. But whoever it is, I'm not totally confident. I think Miami's offense has a lot of problems with it. The offensive line is not very good. I was hoping they'd fix something like that in the offseason. Looks like they haven't. The Raiders, 2 wins in a row. They're looking really, really good. We have Derek Carr going 28 for 37, 382 yards and 2 touchdowns. You have guys like that nice 61-yard touchdown he had to Henry Ruggs in the fourth quarter. Their offensive line, a lot of injuries there, a lot of concern, but the Raiders' offense has been able to carry through, has been able to pull through. I think in this game here, it's 5 points. I really like the Raiders here in this game. I think it's at home. We saw how great that atmosphere was a couple weeks ago for the Monday night game. I think that continues here. I think the Raiders continue to be dominant. I think they continue to be explosive on the offensive side of the ball, and I think that the fans will go crazy. 3-0 for the Raiders. Did not think it was going to happen at the beginning of the year, but I think it's looking like a real possibility here, especially if the Dolphins continue to have injuries and problems with the quarterback. I like the Raiders here at home. Give me the Raiders minus 5. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers take on the Los Angeles Rams. It's a pick 'em. I got to roll with the Buccaneers here, even though it's close. And I understand the arguments for both. I understand why you want to take both teams. Tampa Bay, yesterday, Tom Brady, amazing as always, 5 touchdowns. Mike Edwards with 2 pick sixes. But it was not easy sailing for the Buccaneers. They had an 18-point lead in the third quarter, and they let Atlanta cut it all the way down to 3. Brady had the fumble in the first quarter. The Bucs pass defense looked like the biggest problem with this team. It's given up 300 yards in back-to-back weeks, losing Sean Murphy-Bunting, losing Carlin Davis. So that's the thing there. They have injuries, they have concerns right now. The pass defense is not great, but we know what they can do on offense. We know how explosive Brady and Gronk and everybody can be, and so that's why I would leave with the Bucs here. But the Rams with another win yesterday, even though they didn't cover the spread, which I hated because I had them on the spread. The Rams defense continues to be awesome. The way they were able to shut down Carson Wentz yesterday and at the goal line twice. Aaron Donald is looking like he's going to have another fantastic season. Big turnovers yesterday. The interception by Troy Reader, the turnover on downs. Jalen Ramsey with the interception at the end of the game. The Rams defense looks like it's the strength of this team right now. And losing Darrell Henderson is not good, especially now. You already lost Cam Akers, now you lose Henderson for who knows how long. It's not an awesome team right now, I feel like the Rams, but they're doing just enough in all 3 phases to get where they need to be right now, 2-0. Tough matchup, interesting matchup, but I'm liking the Buccaneers here in this game. Pick 'em, close game. I think it's going to be a fun game between these two teams. But on the road, I think Tom Brady, I think the greatest of all time delivers once again, and I like the Buccaneers here. Give me the Bucs in a pick 'em. The Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings. The Seahawks are 1-point favorites. That was a brutal loss for Seattle yesterday. First home game in 630 days, and they were not able to deliver. The offensive line problem there. I can't say it's the worst thing in the world when you let Derrick Henry run all over you, because so many teams have had that happen, but it happened to them. They were up 24-9 at halftime. They had 17 unanswered points. They missed a PAT in overtime, 10 penalties for 100 yards. They were not able to get anything going there in overtime late in the game. And by the way, that was a safety in the end zone. The game should have ended on that, but whatever. The quarterback play has not been the best for Seattle here. It's ruining their defense. But we know they're still a good team. We know Russell Wilson is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league. He's the best quarterback in this division. We know Seattle is going to bounce back here. And I cannot trust Minnesota, even though Minnesota played way better than I thought they would yesterday. I mean, 33 points against Arizona? They looked good. It wasn't enough. And the defense continues to give up big plays here from Minnesota. I think that will happen here in this game. I think we're going to see a couple long touchdowns from Seattle. Minnesota's defense will struggle there. And they make a bunch of mistakes here. We saw them make a bunch of mistakes yesterday. So I think Seattle will capitalize on that. I think Seattle will take advantage of that. 1 point on the road. I'm loving Seattle here in this pick. Give me the Seahawks, -1. The Monday night game, the Philadelphia Eagles take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys are 4-point favorites. The Eagles, not a great performance yesterday against San Francisco. That was a game they very easily could have won, and they could not deliver. Hurts and Devontae Smith, not as excited and not as good as they were in Week 1. There were just dumb mistakes there. They had that huge 91-yard reception by Watkins. They didn't score anything out of it. It's not the end of the world for Philadelphia, but I want to see how they bounce back here. I mean, they have 2 Pro Bowlers that got hurt. They need to stay healthy. There's just a lot of concern right now on the Philadelphia side. And you saw how good we've seen how good Dallas has been in the first 2 weeks. Going toe-to-toe with Tampa Bay. And then yesterday, beating the Chargers on the road, although that was about as much of a home game as you'll ever hear. I mean, the Cowboy fans were going nuts in there. The offense has been pretty exceptional so far. Tony Pollard, 100 yards. Zeke with a rushing touchdown. They scored touchdowns on 2 or 3 red zone opportunities. They had 13 first downs in the first quarter, which is a team record. Dallas did enough here. Prescott was great on that final drive. He completed every pass. Greg Zuerlein with the game-winning field goal. I just think Dallas is a much better team right now on offense. Concerns on defense. There's problems there on the defensive side, and especially the Chargers made so many mistakes yesterday. But the offense is playing pretty great right now. About as well. I mean, it's 2 games in, so I don't want to say it's the best I've ever seen Dallas, especially in 2016. But Dallas's offense looks like it's bouncing back here, especially now with Dak back, with Zeke there, with Tony Pollard. I'm liking what Dallas is doing here in this game. I like Dallas as a 4-point favorite at home. I think it's going to be a fun, great division game. But in the end, Dallas controls. Dallas wins. Give me the Cowboys here, -4. That's it for now, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to this channel and you'd like to see, make sure you subscribe down below. I'll be back next week to preview Week 4 in the NFL. Take care and God bless.